This episode of the Long Run Podcast is sponsored by Skechers.
Oh no, oh God, I should have known that was coming.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Long Run Show live stream and podcast brought to you by the 40 Runs running community and our generous sponsors, Skechers. I'm Ian Wilson, and tonight, along with Chris Ford, Hayden Harbord, and Toby Frost, we will be talking about marathon fatigue. But if you haven't just seen, I mean, we are generally
Wilco, don't even tell him. No one needs to know.
No one needs to know. We'll keep
working
it
with these two clowns.
We'll just let him. Yeah. See, Chris's name's above the door, but he rocks up at 6:59, and there's now well, he's put a dampener on proceedings, really. So how do you explain yourself?
We better tell the viewers what they missed. So, Tobe, just in case you missed it, let's show them again, Tobe. Just
no. Oh, for crying!
Oh, look! I better take it down again. We're safe. So if you're watching the pod and you're listen to the pod, so and you're running along, we may have just put a picture up of Hayden when he was a stripper. So it's all right, Hayden. Don't worry about it. Not many people. Maybe this is the biggest independent running podcast in the world, and they now all seen you as a stripper. Sorry about that. Anyway, it wasn't my fault. Can I just say
it's it wasn't my fault. Put it on Hayden Harbord's Facebook page.
This is true. Yeah, this is true.
You know, you will be hung, but strung up by your own petard, really, won't you?
Oh, God.
But anyway,
we leave the date on though, just so everyone knows.
We've got it out of the way. Mark says, "Stop winding Hayden up. He's a top man and doesn't deserve it." Absolutely,
thank you, Mark. Thank you, mate.
I don't know how we've managed to get in this position. Anyway, let's crack on. Let's talk about marathons and being knackered. Because are you halfway through your marathon plan and feeling a bit tired? Because I know I am. I'm sure I'm not the only one. In fact, I know I'm not the only one because we've had plenty of communication about this. People dropping us lines on there, sending notes to Chris and putting things on Facebook. So we would like to know what we're going to do about it, Chris. How are we going to cope with all this mid-term marathon training blues?
Well, I wouldn't worry. Look, good evening, everybody, and apologies for the in-joke that we played on young Hayden. But to be honest with you, he did deserve it. For linking that picture on Facebook. If you're going to put pictures out, right, you're going to get caught out. Okay, we are going to get. What?
It's supposed to be for friends, but you get these.
Well, a little trick there, Hayden, could be to unfriend me and Spico. Because we notice these things, and you may have noticed.
That's the first thing you think about, mate.
Yeah, no, that's good call. That's a great. Best bit of advice we're going to get tonight. I think in the next hour.
Unfriend me.
Yeah.
If you're friends with me on Facebook, unfriend me because I will catch you out. So firstly, I've got to give a big shout out to the guys at Skechers. Love Skechers. Been in the old Max Road 6s this week. Thank you very much. To those guys, got a big obviously supporting what we're doing. Thanks to everybody who tuned in on Monday to the Bite Size. If you've not listened to that, tune in on Monday at 7:00 live, where we talk about running shoes and stuff. Thanks to everybody who also has been messaging me this week, but it's been a crazy week. And the reason I wanted to do this episode this week is because it is week 7 for some, week 8 for others, week whatever for other people. But it is the week where everybody, for whatever reason, gets knackered and they start worrying about stuff. And I can talk from experience. I've had a shocker this week. I literally jumped on here with like 1 minute to go. So I think everybody's feeling it, and we are going to get onto it, and we are going to talk about it, and we're going to help you out. We've got to give a shout out, a happy birthday to Al, Coach Al.
Of course, yes.
He's 82, and he's heading to York. Look out for him at York Park Run. He's going to be the one being pushed around by Carolyn. Okay, he'll have a little blanket on him, little drip, because of the old berg. But that's him. Yeah, he's getting on a bit now. So, yeah, look out for him. He's up at York. So that'll be fun. If you've got any questions, right, boys, I learned something the other day. when I was doing this on my own, because on Mondays I do this on my own. If you've got any questions or comments, put them in the chat thing, right? And then what we can do, but maybe you already know this, Tobe, you can scroll back and look at other ones, old ones. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, so I've just learned something that you already knew.
Yeah.
All right, sorry about it. So that's where we're at, really. It's crazy week as always, but we are going to help you shortly with this marathon blues mid-training disaster that we're all going through. But firstly,
Actually spoke to you for a couple of weeks, have we?
Yeah, Hayden, we haven't had you on for a bit. What have you been up to? Apart from being on your saga holiday and entertaining the residents of that establishment, fine establishment, yeah, go on.
The stories the listeners get told about me, and not one single one of them is true. But they know you well enough by now. No, same as you lot. Still training, still on the plan. I think I'm a week ahead of you guys in London. I'm working towards Boston, so currently on week 8, and basically backing up what you said, it is getting to the point where it just feels everything's just overtaken by running at the moment. And I don't know. You can see the end's there, but it's a long way away. And there's a lot of work to do to get there. So, yeah, it's a little bit of motivation needed. But all in all, no, it's nice to have a week off. Well, not a week off running, but a week away from this lovely place that we live in. It makes a difference a little bit. And it does help a little bit with the mind. But then you come straight back and literally within 2 days, you realise nothing's changed.
And you've had 18 emails from me. Did you notice, by the way, chaps, that the Canary Islands, where Hayden was, he must have told the whole of the Saga hotels out there, because we were number 1 in Canary Islands. And where else was we number 1? Somewhere else, in Cyprus.
Malta.
Yeah, well, we're massive out there. It's now law that you have to listen to this.
Yeah, they were almost doing a chart without us on running, aren't they?
Yeah,
because they just take it as read that we're going to be top.
We're so big out there, you know. They've just stuck us to one side. But I think Hayden got everyone to listen to it out in all the Saga results out in Tenerife. So we're now the biggest independent. Well, no, not even independent. We're the biggest podcast out there. I know all these people are copying us, all these media companies, you know, jumping on the bandwagon, sending out their podcasts, trying to be all genuine. But they're all on the case. But we're still the biggest independent one in Malta, and that's all that matters, really. That's it, isn't it? Really? Yeah, we're not.
Yeah,
we're not
conquer Malta. You've conquered everywhere, really.
Well, this is the
That's
point.
the real
So you've
quiz,
been
isn't
busy.
it? Yeah.
Speak, Goat, what have you been up to apart from being annoying?
Eating.
You do that very well.
Yeah, I've been eating and a little bit of running. I've actually done a little bit of running.
Really?
You've got to give. Actually, we talk about Skechers, right? I know Monday's more shoe focused, but you've got to give a shout out to the guys at Skechers in terms of the Max Row 5 at Winter 10K, bro. You've got to give them a bit of love.
They did quite well. I don't think Simon was too pleased by them.
No, Simon wasn't, because he was in his like flash airy carbon plate.
Yeah, but he was. That's judging by his own results rather than his experience of the race.
Yeah,
isn't it?
the boy got mugged by a pair of Skechers Max Row 5s. It was classic. If you've not seen the video, watch the 10K. Toes come through like buzzing, like having the best day ever. Look at my shoes. Look how good I am. And inside's coming through ruined. So good, wasn't it?
I loved it.
He loved it.
And then I haven't got PB.
Much,
That's all
he
that
loved
matters.
it. He loved it. We will come on to your questions and comments, by the way, in a minute. So if you,
I suppose I better take charge. There's no way. I better take charge of that this week.
And we will get to it. So if you're, more importantly as well, if you're feeling these like blues like we are, let us know in there. And
Well, not only let us know, but let us know how you're trying to deal with it and what, you know, see if you can give some tips and help out the wider world, because there's so many of us out there and we could all do with a lift.
I've got 2 questions before we get into that.
Okay.
Firstly, does anyone know when the Great North Run ballot comes out? I'm already there, but does anyone know?
Next week, 20th.
Is it next week?
I believe so, yeah.
Now, following on from that, oh, by the way, we're planning a shakeout run up there. So if you're in the Facebook group, if you're not in the Facebook group, then get in the Facebook group. But if you're in the Facebook group and you're getting the ballot next week, go and fill out that poll for us. It'd be really helpful. But is it New York next week as well?
Well, no, the ballot for New York's current at the moment. You can still enter. I think up until this Sunday, maybe.
I think I saw it was the 22nd.
What gets drawn?
I don't know when it gets drawn.
I think the closing is 22nd. I think it gets drawn maybe next month.
First week of March, I think.
First week of March, yeah.
Okay, so that's what I was, because I know there's a few ballots kicking about at the moment, and I wasn't 100% sure. That's what I thought. I know we shouldn't really be just chatting on here about like stuff that I don't know, but I just genuinely wanted to know when the stuff was coming out.
Also, I was going to say, you know what? We spoke about this before, I know, but here's something to come back to. The Great North ballot closes in the next day or so, and the results are next week. New York closes on Sunday, and the results are 2 weeks later. What is this London Marathon 2, 3, 4 months about?
Yeah, but I'd be
We've done this
interested to know
before,
if they
haven't we?
do
Yeah.
that. I wonder if they'll do that this year. You know, because like usually ballot opens on the Sunday, doesn't it? So I don't know when London is. I can't remember, but usually it then opens up and then they tell you in October or something stupid, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'm with you. Look, I think everybody knows my position with regards to London Marathon events and how backward and whatnot they are, right? But if they want to sponsor the podcast, how do they get in touch, Wilco?
Oh, they drop us a line at fordyruns.com/longrun.
Yeah, so London Marathon events. But I 100% agree with you. But I'm hoping, let's see whether they compress it and speed it up this time.
I think it would be the benefits that it has of being able to speed it up is that you can often take advantage of early bird offers to go and do marathons elsewhere. That if you don't get a place, because otherwise you're, oh well, shall I enter this? Oh well, what if I get into London? If you know one way or the other if you're going to get into London, then you're freed up to sort the rest of your running year out. So there's no bloody excuse, really, is there?
Right, I'm going to go through some of these comments. All right, I'm going to whiz through them. Right, you ready? Looks like the boy band is back together. It certainly is. We've got our lead singer back. He's back. Ben, it's honky tonk time. Yeah, Ben, big time. It is honky tonk time. 7:00 Friday. It's like we're all down the honky tonk together. We're just at the start of the night. The music's starting. We're not fully into it yet. We're not gone up there and started dancing. We're just at the bar chatting. And it's coming because then the music, you know what I mean? So you know what I mean, Ben. Stop winding Hayden up. He's a top man, doesn't deserve it. They're only jealous. True, I am jealous. If I had a bod like that, although that was again
a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. He looked like that.
I don't know where he got his chest waxed.
He 100% does not look anything like that now. Okay,
I reckon he's more ripped.
Yeah. I'm right. Here we go. I'm feeling the opposite. Right. So. I'm just looking out for any company training missed a couple of weeks. Right, we'll come on to you guys. Do you guys take question front end? Do any of you guys take multivitamins or joint supplements? Hayden, tough because I know all the medication you have to take because of your age. But is there anything outside of that you take, supplements or anything like that?
No, funny enough, when you finish the races, they've got this thing, like a lot of races where they give you you get the men's health ones. And every time I get them for the first few days, I think I might start taking these. And once they run out, or after 3 or 4 days, you forget. And
Sack it off. Yeah. So you don't take anything additional. Speed Goat, but Big Macs don't count.
I was going to take extra oil in the flavour of KFC chicken.
Yeah, so that's a no. Wilco, do you take any supplements?
Guinness.
We're such finely tuned athletes. I hope you lot who are listening to this and watching can relate, right? Because you can take your park run records or whatever they bang on about and whatever. I can run this under 15 minutes and all that sort of stuff. We're real runners here. We take Guinness. We don't take supplements. I don't take any. The only thing I do take a little bit of, bit random, cayenne pepper for the sinuses. That's the only thing. Right, after videos, we're not got a 10K tomorrow. Good luck, Triple X. Let me know you're getting on Monday. Ballot for New York. Close that. What's this one? Loving what's his Tobe? Where's he gone? Stop mucking about, Tobe. Tobe's mucking about with the things. Loving the videos and podcasts. You give me great tips. I'm a regular everyday runner training for. Oh, Milton Keynes is in May. I didn't know that. I wouldn't fancy that. Has anyone ever done Milton Keynes? Isn't it just a lot of roundabouts, isn't it? I mean, probably be stereotypical. Got the, what's this? Ben's back. Get on the CBD to check. Oh, blimey. Okay, well, unless, you say that, but nothing wrong with a bit of CBD. The old Pure Sport's lovely. We like a bit of Pure Sport. Big shout out to those guys. Wilco could always form.
If only I could.
With you could. I like that. Wilco could form a Chaz and Dave trip. Do you like Chaz and Dave, Wilco?
Well, they used to, poor old Chaz Hodges died not long ago. He used to live around here. He used to live around our way. He used to live in Wearside.
So you could do a tribute.
And actually, my ex-mother-in-law went to school with him.
Right.
So we could have got
a bass player if you want. I'll put him in touch with you.
But I can't play a piano or a bass, and I can't be Mick on the drums either. So there ain't no pleasing you.
No. So if you don't know what Chaz and Dave is, when you finish your run, Google it. And then
Google
you'll
it
go, oh
and
yeah, that
just
looks like
dive in
Will.
for the greatest combo ever.
Well, I love this from Jay. When is Si happy? Oh, mate, you're right. He's a Tobe. Any miserable at the moment?
What do you mean in the moment?
I think it's the marathon training that we're currently going through. That it's made him even
I'm quite
more
confident that Simon is happy on occasions, just not when he's being filmed for YouTube videos.
He loves a YouTube video.
Maybe he's happy when he's not around us.
That's the point I'm making. I was being a bit more
think so?
diplomatic than that type, but it's like if you want to draw that conclusion, then that's
Don't
up to
beat
you.
around the bush. We'll just head
Okay.
in.
He's got 18 miles with me on Sunday. He's gonna love that.
Ooh. Now you went out for 16, and the boys burnt you a bit, didn't they?
It wasn't. No, it was young Toby, right? So I was meant to do 16 easy miles because it was the first sort of long run back after flu. We absolutely broke admin. She bailed at gunpowder, sacked that off. She said, "I'm done." So she checked out. Which is when we look back on it, we realised why she was pushing on with the pace, because we was like, "Is she all right with this pace? This is a bit strong for admin," because we were, kind of holding back a little bit, huh?
It's a bit strong for us, let know.
Yeah, we was like looking at each other, thinking, "Hang on a minute, this is pushing into like low 9s here." We need to be easy. The boys are trying to look after me. Anyway, we turned it round. We're about, 3 miles to go, Tobe? 4 miles to go, whatever it was. I can't remember what it was. I said, oh, sod this, I'm getting bored. So I dropped it, and I thought I'll drop it to 8.5 minute miles, right? That's all right, nice, thanks very much. Pick it up a bit, see what's in the old tank. Obviously not 100%. And then this lunatic comes along. All of a sudden, I'm doing, 6.5 minutes, 7 minute miles. Absolutely ruined me. I got to the end of where the Lee Valley bit is, where it goes into this. I couldn't breathe. It absolutely broke me. Didn't I, Tobe? I had to stop there.
You didn't have to follow.
No, and the thing is, what's worse with Tobe, right? It's really annoying. Is you start trying to get a pace, so you pick it up a bit, and then all of a sudden he's like, he's on your shoulder, going faster, but looking at you and smiling, and he's so close to you that you can't help but go with him. And then you look at your watch and you're 6.5 minute miles, and you're like, what am I doing? At the end of I was ruined at the end. Like Hayden does, like most nights. I had a little kip in the afternoon.
Now, you said, in all seriousness, mate, you said that you've had a bad week training and everything. Do you think that you pushed it too hard on Sunday and you haven't been able to catch up?
No, it's purely, I've got a lot going on
right.
at home, work and stuff like that. So
it's not related to that. Now,
it's not, to be honest now.
All right. Can I just ask, I'd like your advice on something that I'm doing at the weekend, because I've got myself and Ben Slater, who's our friend who comes on Tuesday nights at Hartford, who we're hoping to have on the show sometime in the very near future. And we're doing 17 miles on a training run that's organised by a local club here in Hertfordshire at Hemel Hempstead. Now, it's week 8. Now, I've got this 17-mile run. Now, I'm thinking, how do I approach it 2 weeks after I did a decent clip at a half marathon? Do I want to be going easy, sort of like 5 miles easy, 7 miles marathon pace, 5 miles easy again, or 2 miles easy and then 1 mile marathon pace and do so? How would you sort of like approach a race like that when, well, it's not a race really, it's just a training run at this time in my plan at week 8?
Personally, I would probably do a good slug of, like, at the start, 3 miles, get warmed up. Do that a sensible. I wouldn't say easy pace, because the reason is because you're going to drop it, right? But I would start out at a comfortable pace. Let's call it comfortable pace. Then I would start dropping it into goal pace for a mile, easy pace mile, or you can do 2 and 2 or 1 and 2. But I would throw it in there, because you're in that sort of race scenario. If you was just going out, I would say, well, I'll come on to tell you what we're going to do. But because you're in that more sort of race structured environment, I would be looking to sort of go up, go down, go up, go down.
Yeah. See, what I thought I might do is sort of like do 2 easy, 1 hard, and then see if then do 5 sets of that, and then see if I could carry on the hard for the final 2 and just see. I wouldn't
go too hard. I would watch how hard you're going, but at the same time, I wouldn't make the easy too easy. Does that make sense? So let's say you're training.
the sort of hard side of steady.
Yeah, I would say, look, let's put it, give people some metrics, right?
Okay.
So let's say you're going sub 4 marathon. Yeah. So if I was looking at that, I would actually say the easy stuff should be 10-minute miles. Yeah. You're dropping it down, goal pace is to 9-minute miles.
Yeah, you see, I'm going to be probably doing 10.5 to 9.5. Yeah,
that's where I would probably be looking to go. That's the sort of delta that I would be using. Hayden, would you?
There's one thing I like to pick up on it. Why on earth are you doing 17 miles? What's 17 miles?
I know. It's weird.
It's really weird. As runners, I spoke about this before to someone. As runners, we like even things. We do like you do 16, 18, 20. We want to get up to 20 miler, 22 miler, 17 miles.
I'll tell you what, though, it's quite a nice number. Like if I've just said, like I can have 5 threes and then 2 at the end if I want to ease up or I want to push on and give it a bit of, it's quite a nice. I think it's quite a nice little number. It opens.
I'll tell you the way I would look at it.
Sometimes you can end up sort of like blasting it for that last mile, and then you stop suddenly, and then you're done. You don't get the opportunity to warm down as well.
I would probably look at it actually. Now you said that, so I'd probably go too easy at the front end, 13 miles goal, too easy at the end.
Yeah,
because that gets you 17, doesn't it? I mean, my maths is not brilliant. Check that on the calculator, someone. But so you basically got that half marathon distance in the middle chunk at goal pace. So like we just said, 10-minute. Oh, it doesn't even matter the front.
Which is effectively what I did at Watford 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and then I would maybe do your 13 at goal, because you in terms of your head and your mindset, you can cover a half marathon distance at that pace, right? So cover it there, and then even if you're ruined, you can just trot it out at the end and jog it out. It's like no big deal. Do you know what I mean? You've got 2 miles of that. The first mile will probably be quite painful, but ultimately you'll just like bob along.
I mean, the other side of the coin would that be is like if I chop it up into 5 lots of 3, then mentally it's easier to get through rather than just I've got 13 miles a day.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is don't overthink it, which it sounds like you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And the same with the easy pace thing. Don't keep thinking like you said about 10.5 minutes. Yeah, spot on. Don't worry about the 10.5 minutes. Looking at your watch. If you want to run that easy, run it easy. It feels easy. If it feels easy, it is. If that's 9 minutes or that's 15 minutes, it's easy. Whatever's easy.
But I mean, so the message really coming out of all this is mix it up a bit.
Yeah, I would just make it interesting. So like I was going back to saying what we're going to do or try and do on Sunday, because you never, it doesn't always go to plan. This week's not going to plan, so it probably won't on Sunday. But we're gonna trot out, easy pace on the way out, turn it at Hartham, and effectively gun it all the way down back to your gaff, effectively, Wilco. Just before John Warner. So we're going to get double busy down there, but not even looking at watches. Just push on and kick on hard, right? No, not quicker than goal pace or whatever. Like not like mental, like what Spigo try and ruin me, but effectively take the watches off and run hard and just hold it to effectively run out of juice. Because from the Jolly Fisherman, we've got about 3 mile home, which is a nice cool down. We'll probably end up doing a bit more goal pace at some point once we've recovered, but we just want to run that sort of 5 odd miles hard. It just spruces it up a bit, and it you know what I mean. You turn for home, you get on it. Do you know what I mean? And then, but without necessarily looking at the watch and worrying too much about pace, because if we're going a little bit large, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we still got to get to the Jolly Fisherman or your gaff, effectively, Wilco, but that's the target.
Right.
See what I mean? So that's, again, we're trying to, it's just all these things, right? And actually it leads nicely onto like this week 7, business in terms of, cumulative fatigue. The one way around it is literally to mix your stuff up, and think about how you can change it up a bit in the next couple of weeks, but you're still managing to get the best out of those sessions. And that's the important thing to try and keep in the back of your mind is, right, I've got a bleeding 8 mile run tomorrow. Right, okay, so how can you do that a little bit differently than you normally would? Maybe you do a little bit of, 1 mile, a little bit quicker, ease off a bit or whatever, or change your route, run it backwards. Whatever it is, whatever it comes at you in terms of the way it looks, but somehow mixing it up, even like the days in which you would normally run. So like at the moment, normally I would run 4 miles on Monday. Mondays are my day when I do my sort of easy run at lunchtime, not really caring what I do. Don't even worry about pace, because in the evening I've got editing and stuff like that to do, catching up with admin, live stream, right? So why not, instead of so struggling wise, why not stick that up to a 6 mile run, or drop it down to 3 mile run, or go 2 miles easy out, 2 miles hard back, or something just in terms of mixing up. Funnily enough, this week, despite everything being thrown up in the air, I actually had a nice run where I just burnt off, 6 miles. I just went out easy mile, or whatever it was. And then I just went and run as pretty much as hard as I could. And then did deliberately like 2 mile at goal pace, brought it back down to goal pace. But I went bananas. I was like 6.5 minute miles, which is quick for me. And I was licking along, and it was like I struggled to keep going, but I had so much, sometimes you're just a bit frustration. And it was a complete change to the norm, because usually I'd be at a club session or we'd be doing something like that. It was actually quite nice to, open up my legs and get after it a bit, especially after being ill. So again, in a way, despite struggling this week, I've still tried to maximize the sessions that I have had the opportunity to run. And I would say the same to everybody else. Look at, some of your runs that maybe you've done that you enjoyed, put them back into play. Maybe there's a session that you've done in the past, get down the track. That's something to do. Obviously, we've always talked about going to the satellites and things like that. The social aspect is key. We did a chatty run on Wednesday. Wilco, you was there. And that was deliberate, because, we gave you guys a 12-week block. We slotted that one now in the middle deliberately, and it was always going to be a chatty run to just try and break up the monotony, the awfulness of what's been coming at you. And I think it did make a difference, didn't it, Wilco? It did, you was there.
Yeah.
Those sort of runs can make a difference in the middle of training.
I mean, John E has just said, enjoy your down weeks and recharge your batteries for the next couple of weeks. Just try not to extend your down week too long.
Yeah. I think I've got next week. I've got 20 miles, and then I've got a race. So race week, I'll down tools, whatever. Couple of runs. I'll just go with Phil. Couldn't give a monkey's. I think it's interesting on a down week, however, but we'll go around, spin round in a minute, how everybody treats a down week. But for me, I literally I'll still get out, but maybe I'll go out 5 times, and again, no real interest in what's on my watch. And I'll make sure that nothing's too mental in terms of speed or distance or anything like that. It's just literally getting it done. And because the fact we've got a race on Sunday, I'll probably just do 3 miles Saturday, won't run on the Friday, might not even run on the Thursday. Not really care about what I'm doing, but more importantly, make sure I'm getting enough sleep like I'm trying to do. What about you, Hayden, on a down week?
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting listening to what you say, because to be honest, I'm probably the opposite to you. On a down week, I try and focus more on those sessions we talked about so many times, the quality sessions, try and do a bit more. I basically, what I do is I cut back the mileage. So if I'm running a 60, 65 mile week on average, on my cutback week, I'll probably drop down to about 45 to 50. So I'll take the mileage down by quite a bit, but the intensity of the session, I still tend to keep the same. But instead of having a Tuesday night, I normally do like my intense sessions where I might do, I don't know, 3 or 4K warm up, 10 sets of 800 intervals, and then go back to 3 or 4K warm down. On a down week, I'll just cut the warm up and warm down by 3 kilometers each, and just concentrate on that intensity of the session. For me, it's still, I want to build the muscles, a bit of strength and conditioning. I want to get that fitness still in me, but as I said, I try to focus more on maybe the sleep, maybe the diet, maybe it's mentally in my head. If I see down week on the plan, you get into that sort of zone where you almost feel like you are having a down week, even if it isn't really a massive down week. Knocking 15 miles off your mileage per week, is that really a down week? Probably not, but in my mind it is, and that's a down week, and psychological. So that tends to work for me.
I know what you're saying. Now, Tobe, obviously, I know most weeks are a down week for you. But no, seriously, right? If you see down week in your plan or whatever you're working towards, how do you tackle that?
Probably run a bit more to make it a down week.
Loads of value.
I mean, yeah, for me, I mean, I say recently, it's just been because I've never had a particular structure to any of it. I've kind of had natural down weeks in it where I've done less mileage and less intensity anyway. So they automatically come, probably a bit too often, but we'll see how that
He's going to write a book, The Speed Goat Training Plan. It's going to be a bestseller.
It's about one page.
Bestseller, mate.
And most of that's just it's got to eat, go to prep. Wilco, what about you? What's a cutback week look like for you?
Well, I can sympathise a lot with what Hayden was saying, really, about food and sleep. I think it's a time to. I find more sort of like as a rather than the intensity of my actual training, I see it more as a sort of like a time to evaluate where I'm going, sort of like mentally, thinking about me sleep and me food and how I sort of like reflect on what's gone on the last few weeks and what I should be able to, what I need to do just to have a little bit of a break, but then kick on and push on again for the next 3 or 4 weeks. So perhaps I'll do something different, maybe go a different route, go out on the trails or something, not worry too much about my mileage, just go out for a run in the woods for an hour rather than worrying about doing 6 miles up and down or something like that. So I'm still getting the relative exercise, but not so much to tick it off the chart. Yeah, I've done that. Just to keep yourself ticking over for a week.
Yeah,
I like you. I mean, my pattern's going to be very similar to yours. I'm looking to do a 20 next week, and then I assume you're going to Cambridge, and I'm going to Chelmsford to do the half marathon. So yeah, it'll be very similar. So I won't be going mad for. My weeks are almost in 2 sort of like halves anyway, because I have this sort of FORDY stuff and my other sort of like my strength and conditioning quite early in the week, and then Fridays are generally my rest day too. So I don't think I'll be doing much before going to Chelmsford, but because I'm confident. Well, I'm hopeful and confident that the way things are going, that I can go there and do quite well.
We had Robert Ashworth saying about the trails as part of the marathon training. To answer your question, hang on a sec. What's that, Tobe? It's right. Tobe's just giving me an admin job to do. Chris, you're logged into. What am I doing? Tobe, what am I doing? Am I mucking it all up?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So I just everyone knows.
Basically,
right. Tobe just told me off on the private chat that we've got on the thing because I could do that. Tobe, it's because on a Monday, right? I just flick up the comments. I'm now used to not having you here.
I'm going to change the password so you can't log in.
He's living without you, Tobe. That's what it is.
It's because I've been driving this ship forward for months. Anyway, right, going back to words. So I'm not going to click nothing now.
So you're talking about Robert Ashworth, and he was saying,
Robert Ashworth,
trail muddy running.
I just clicked. I just clicked to put it on. Sorry, Tobe. I won't do it anymore.
I'm just sit here and watch.
Yes. So get on to Robert's question. Yes, I actually, you know what? I haven't done it much because the times I was meant to do it, I was ill. But basically, yes, to answer your question, trail running is, for me, is a big, big plus in marathon training, especially on down weeks. So normally, like Speako and I, we've done videos about this. We've buggered off to Epping Forest, or we've gone up to Broxbourne Woods, and we've got 10 miles, and we'll just trot up there, and it just works the muscles in a different way. And it's just so good to get up there, especially the air's a bit cleaner, sounds a bit funny, there's a little bit more elevation, and you're just running on different surfaces. It's so good for you, trail running and marathon training. It really is, people. If you can get on those trails, I would thoroughly recommend it. I might sound crazy, but even on a Sunday when I do get the chance to run up with buds, you know what I mean, up around the fields and the trails up the back from where I am, it's great fun. So yes, I would really recommend it if you can. I know it's hard and you've got to be safe, but yeah, I would really recommend sticking some trail work in there, especially on your down weeks. Again, that mixes it up. We talk about, that where everyone's feeling knackered and stuff like that, mentally as well as physically. Just jumping onto the trails is a good shout. Now, I would say in terms of because it just made me think, in terms of the mental aspect of it, right, of getting this fatigue, I think you can't let it consume you. It's really important, right, just to take a step back and realize, especially for you guys who are doing it maybe for the first time, but one, it's natural in terms of where you're at, but don't let this feeling consume you, because it will pass. It will go, and it's totally natural to what you're feeling. So try and switch your focus onto something else. Now, whether it's buying new shoes, or you're going to you book a race between now and then, or you go and find a new trail that you've not run, or you go along to a 40-man satellite club for the first time. Whatever it is, you just try and switch your focus away from the fact of I'm knackered and I don't like it very much. Yes, get your extra sleep. Yes, eat well. Yes, drink loads and all that sort of stuff, because that will help your mind. But try and get into something else, whether it be pick up a marathon book, where all these people, write books. Chris Evans writes his books, not qualified to put training plans in there, but he sells about 1 million of these things. So, read a book by him or whatever these other people are, do something like that and just change your focus a little bit on like Tobe says, get a tripod because you can geek out on that. But just the relentless slog of marathon training. Yeah. No, but seriously, Tobe makes a good point. Get yourself a new bit of tech, whether it be a heart rate monitor or I don't know, whatever it is. Get something that just breaks it up and switches your mind.
I think as well, if you get to 8 weeks in a marathon plan, that's a bloody good effort. You should reward yourself and think, I've done, don't be hard on yourself thinking, oh God, this is terrible, I'm not going to be able to do it and all that sort of thing. Very much like the race itself and you running the mile that you're in, you've got to try and just not worry too much about the 8 weeks that you've still got to do and the big long runs and stuff like that. It's a good time, I think. Take stock a little bit and have a think about where you're going and give yourself a little reward.
Well, the other thing is, Wilco, you've got to remember it's not 8 weeks because you've got your taper. Now, some people we're going to be doing 3-week taper, some week 2-week taper, whatever. Yeah. So just think about that. You've also got a taper coming. So kind of give yourself a bit of a break because you could just say to well, actually, I've only got 6 weeks left of this to go. Yeah, I've got some big miles. Yeah, I've got some big stuff coming my way. Yeah, I've got to, really turn it up. But you've only got 6 weeks left of this stuff coming at you. It's not the end of the world. Don't you think, Hayden? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. And switching it back to the start of the show, this show went out as talking about cognitive fatigue as well as marathon training is hard. Marathons are hard. I don't care who you are, even Kipchoge, but people do it at different levels. So it's hard for everyone. So doing this plan isn't something that you can go into and think to yourself, oh, every week I'm going to absolutely love it. It's going to be easy. It's going to be tough times. And there is toughness about it. And as you said, so much of it, as is with race day, is mental and it's psychological. Your body's tired. Yeah. You need to rest your mind as well. When your mind rests, your body feels fresher as well. Get the early nights. As you said, treat yourself. That's an absolutely fantastic way. Mix your runs up. Do a different route. We're all guilty of doing the same route all the time. Do a complete different route. Muck about with your watch. Play a game. Tell you what I've done recently that I quite enjoyed. Set yourself an easy pace, one that you really can hit quite easily. Try and hit the same pace for every single mile, every single kilometre. If you're getting up to near the mile, so you need to speed up a bit, do that. So just play a game with yourself. And before you know it, 6, 7, 8, 9 miles, they start going past. And you're getting there and you're making your way through. As Wilco said as well, you're up to 8 weeks. If you're going to taper, 13 weeks, you've got 5 left. One of them is going to be a down week. We're down to 4 weeks. 4 weeks for you to be ready for one of the biggest achievements of your life. You've got it in the bag. Get to 8 weeks. No matter how rough you feel, bad you feel, honestly, it's all up there. It definitely is all up there. And
talk to people, particularly, I mean, the satellite group, this is where it's really come into its own, really, that I've been involved with Hartford, because like when I've been training for marathons, it's sort of like you turn up on a Tuesday and you look like death warmed up and you're like, oh, I feel terrible. And then everybody else is like, oh, I feel exactly the same. My husband's not talking to me. I'm so bloody miserable, and it helps in any sort of mental issue that you have. It helps so much to talk to other people because you are not the only person in that boat. And often there are people who, like tonight, are offering advice about how you can deal with it, how you can get over, how you can get over the hump. It's not going to be easy. You're not going to be able to click your fingers and everything's going to be rosy. You're going to have to dig in. But there's advice to take out there. So, even if you're on the Facebook group, if you're not involved in a satellite group, if there wasn't one in your area and feeling like that, sticking a note on Facebook and just saying, oh, I'm having a rough time. What can I do about it? You will be besieged with good advice and well wishes. And it'll give you a pickup.
It's like you said about getting over the hump. It's like your working week. it's like Monday's bloody horrible, Tuesday not great. By Wednesday, you're thinking, bloody, how long's this week going on for? Get Wednesday over and done with. Thursday, you're getting a bit excited. Friday, that's it. Boom, you're in.
Friday, 7 o'clock, YouTube and Facebook. Here we are.
It's all sorted. Your week's all mapped out for you.
You could actually live your life, right? You think Monday, doom and gloom at work. Oh, bite sizes on at 7 o'clock. I'm going to smash the life out of that. Tuesday, you can then watch that back or listen to it on the train, right? Wednesday, probably go to a satellite group or something like that. And then you're thinking to yourself, hang on a minute, long run show probably come out on Friday. What are they going to be talking about? I'll look that up. Then you go on a Thursday, you're thinking Thursday, lovely jubbly. Thank you very much. Nearly the weekend. Friday, we're here. Then it's the weekend. Then you roll into that. And then you've watched this live. You then put it back as a podcast because you want to listen to all the in-jokes that you may have missed. Like, stuff like hating being a stripper. You've got all that. So there you go. You could actually live your whole life through 40 runs. It's amazing, isn't it? And it's all free. You're welcome. You're welcome, people. Now,
Toby's dying to do his joke.
Comments here that I think we should just touch
on.
Hang on.
Toby's got a joke. Wilco, Toby's got a joke.
I can tell Toby's dying to do it.
What is it?
I haven't got one.
About the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
No, it's been got that home. You can't repeat the same joke.
He had a joke.
I can see you smiling. I can see you smiling.
He did. It was his greatest hit, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't want to keep repeating it. People get bored.
Toby, to be perfectly honest with you, you don't really turn up much at the moment. So I think they're just, firstly, pleased to see you.
Any value that you could possibly add, Tobe's a good thing.
Yeah, at least someone's pleased to see me.
I'm very pleased. Tobe, we'll run together on Sunday.
Right, can I just ask a couple of questions from the floor? James Ovington. He's currently training for London, missed the last week due to illness. Do I jump straight back on the plan with a long, slow run on Sunday? Now I'm feeling good.
Yeah, go easy, like I did. Go back in at the plan where you're meant to be. Just take it easy, dial it down, run to field, but go super easy.
But a week's not a disaster, is it?
Just get it done. Just get it done. Get back in the saddle. Ride it out, cowboy. Next.
And then Ryan Ross said he picked up a groin strain while skiing. He currently can't run, waiting for a scan. I was up to a comfortable 10 miles pre-injury. Can an exercise bike create a decent endurance base for London?
Biking, yeah, 100%. Biking apparently is very good.
Cross trainer.
Yeah, anything like that is good, guys. Whatever.
Yeah, just don't take it easy, Ryan, and do what you can, mate. I'd suggest.
And you can consume a huge amount of sausage rolls whilst on a bike. So crack on with that.
Even in your cleats.
Yeah. What are they? Is that the things on the
funny pedal things?
I don't like them. Tobe got me them Tour de France ones, and I fell off my bike.
I was saying this on Tuesday. Everybody learns to ride a bike by putting their feet on the pedals, and then cyclists have to go one step further, don't they?
Yeah, it's Tobe and his mates. It's Tobe's fault.
Yeah. And all clackety, 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 clack.
Oh,
and they're walking
drives you up the wall. Tobe, you and your mates. I'm going to have to ride with. How many of us doing this ride 100 thing, by the way?
Me and you.
Is it only? Oh, that's a touch.
Yeah.
No, honestly, how many people do it?
I've got absolutely no idea.
Well, can you find out? Because I reckon there's too many people doing biking. More people should be doing water aerobics. Right, next. Or stripping.
Polo.
Wilco, what else we got?
Well, I was just thinking, we've obviously talked about the sort of like the psychological aspect. What about the physiological aspect of sort of like your muscles aching and stuff like that? Is there anything that can help people?
I would, like always, you've got your Epsom salts, you've got your Pure Sport, CBD, whoever mentioned it earlier. You've got your stuff for your aches and pains. You've got your supplements. If you feel like you need to take some supplements, then crack on. There's loads out there. There's whatever works for you, right? So try it. But yeah, just look after yourself. Maybe instead of having a shower, have a bath. It's that sort of thing. But just honestly, I can't emphasize enough. We spoke about it on that episode. The power of sleep, people. Just don't. The thing is, if you're overtraining, you will struggle to sleep. Okay, it's a clear sign if you are overtraining that you will struggle to sleep. So just watch it, but get yourself to bed early. Right, even if it's over the next 5-6 weeks, get yourself to bed early if you can. I know life's life. And just look after yourself. Make sure you are doing that. eating well and drinking well, especially over the next 6, because when that mileage goes up and that intensity does go up, because it will, that's where you really need to pay attention to looking after yourself, honestly. And if you do, it sounds funny, but if you do need a kip and you can, because you ain't got kids running around or whatever, then have a kip. Listen to your body. Seriously, listen to your mind, listen to your body, and that's the best way to play. To be straight up.
You've actually just picked up on something there. You've got to get this. There is a fine lines of wrong words, but you can be mistaken for cognitive fatigue or overtraining. And there is a big difference. So you do need to map out everything. If you don't have a plan, it's quite easy to maybe go off plan and overtrain and realize you're getting too overtired and thinking that's part of your plan, but it's not. That's not cognitive fatigue. That is overtraining. There is a fine line there. But as I say, if you've got a proper plan and you're following it, you'll be fine. No matter how tired you feel, you'll get back on track.
You usually find it's where people are chasing miles.
Yeah.
Or they're trying to chase speed and they're running too fast and they're just hitting their bodies too hard. I wouldn't say I was guilty of it this week, but I could definitely feel it in my calves and definitely feel it in my muscle. But I'd had for me, a big period of time out, 2 weeks. And I could feel that, towards the end of this week, that I could feel that my muscles were saying, oh, hold tight. So again, Sunday's going to be interesting. So I've got to, be a bit sensible on Sunday, because again, I don't want to go down that path of overtraining, because it is a dangerous path to go down. So just watch that. It is tough, especially if you're doing your first half or full, that you do start leaning on it a little bit too much. Just watch out. I say that the classic signs are that you can't sleep is number one.
So would it be a good idea perhaps to think of we're always chopping marathon blocks into sort of sub blocks, aren't we? This is a time perhaps to think about what you're going to do pre-taper and how you're going to sort of get through the next worry about the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, again, we're like you're right, Wilco. Just like we said on that whatever episode it is, this is. I don't want to overemphasize it, but this is probably the most important block out of if you do break it down. This is probably what you've got coming up now is what will determine the outcome of the marathon, pretty much, right? Because this is where your hard miles, your mileage goes up, your speed sessions. You should have now that underlying fitness to be able to really push on and crack some of that speed out, build that stamina, build your engine, all the stuff that we talk about. This next block before the taper is probably the most important and will dictate what happens on race day. Now, that's not a statement to put pressure on you. That's not a statement for you to worry about it, because if it doesn't go to plan, and I guarantee it won't, I don't want you to be thinking, oh, crap, what am I going to do now? But if you can nail this next part and do everything well, and by saying that, I mean, just give it your best efforts. That's all you can do, right? Whatever shape and form it comes in, like I did this week, the sessions that I could do, I tried to push and do the best sessions I could. And it's the same for you. So this next mini block within the training plan is the key one, I think. If you get this right and you get your taper right, you're going to be in good shape.
And I think as well, it's a good time to think about, Aidan. I mean, you're going to Tokyo, so it's a bit, you're taking things to extreme, but it's a good time to have a race and perhaps, being able to quantify what your progress has actually been in a race situation.
Yeah, and we talked about it before. And even if it's not just the race you want to do, maybe try and incorporate some kind of race within a training. I see Aaron Newton just on the messages that said he's looking at doing a 10-mile race Sunday, and he's thinking about running there, doing the race, and then running home. I'm not sure if he's got his figures right, because that looks like he's going to do 26 miles, which I definitely wouldn't advise. But running there, doing the race, it gives you a bit of motivation. Tomorrow I've got a 20-miler. I'm going to run. It's going to be mostly easy, but I'm going to run up to park run right in the middle and do park run at my goal pace, at target pace.
Yeah,
it just breaks up. It breaks up, then I run back home from there as well. So it's easier to do that target pace at park run. There's other people around you. Got a bit of motivation, and it breaks up the run as well. Getting there, that's 3 bits of the run. Getting there, the park run, and getting home. Before you know it, it's all done.
Yeah,
that's what I did on.
Done.
He did it on Saturday, didn't he, Tobe? He rocked up. We got admin. We did admin pace there, which is now a national phenomenon. Admin pace. It's basically whatever she fancies. And we got there, and then Silly Nut said, I'm gonna drop this, because obviously I was meant to be running easy because of coming back. He said, I'm gonna drop this on this park run, sodded off, ran at 8:20 per mile, something like that, boosted it round there. And then he was so anal with his pacing on the way back. Like as I said, I got to the point where I thought, I sod this, and then I got speed goated. But it is a good shout to whether it be a race. You know, we had that the other day, didn't you, Wilco, where Ben and PB, they did a couple of miles before and after and stuff like that.
Yeah, they just added up their thing, and I went for a beer.
Yeah, again, athlete. Well, guys, we've got quite a few questions and stuff.
Yeah, I'd like this one. I'd like to run this one past you. I think it's a good one from Daniel Allen, which is quite interesting. Wouldn't it be easier to train for a marathon over a much longer period?
Well, yeah, yes. Well, I would say so. Sometimes when I get clients, we look at it over a 20 or 22, 24 week period. We'll do a building phase, to get that sort of, firstly that base, sorted out, but also to the familiarity of working to a plan and the frequencies and whatnot. And then we will come into a sort of more vanilla training plan, but it will flow from the other one. So, I've wrote 24-week plans for people for marathons. It just
it depends where you're at, doesn't it?
It depends what you want to do, right? If your goal, and it's interesting because we're looking and talking about very much, when I say that I mean like me, Si, and usual lot, we're looking towards the end of the year for A races. Our target races are towards the end of the year. The stuff we're doing at the front end hopefully gives us the tools and the basis to be able to push at the end of the year in those autumn marathons. We said it after last year that actually we're only going to target one race. So, for example, Si's targeting Chicago, right? So, he's looking there. That's where his whole focus is, right? So he couldn't really care too much about what he does in London. He's not really that bothered about it. He just wants to get around and have a good time, which I think is the right thing, and then build the speed through the summer. So to answer Daniel Allen, he says maybe a year. Absolutely. But you've got to have a strategy and an approach in which you implement over the year and target it. And I would build races into that. I would build an element of 5K training, 10K training, half training into that over the year to give you that really good platform in which, when that does come out, because you could then do a 12-week marathon plan, which would actually involve the longer miles because you've already got the basis, which you've worked throughout the year. So you don't have to do a 16-week plan, because if you've done the rest of the work throughout the year, you can then jump into a 12-week plan, which effectively is your longer miles. But you've probably not dropped below 14 miles anyway, or 15 miles anyway. You've probably been chucking them in anywhere as well throughout the year to keep that base fitness, that base stamina up. So it
doesn't. The thing is, it doesn't have to be a plan for a whole year. It's got to be more fluid, because otherwise, if you've got sort of like Monday, I've got to do this, Tuesday, I've got to do this, Wednesday, I'm doing this, Thursday, I'm doing that for 52 weeks, it's going to drive you bloody mad.
No. Well, the whole podcast today is about accumulative fatigue. If you go down that road, you're going to reach that numerous times over the space of whatever your training plan is going to be. The 16 weeks, 20 weeks is a great plan. 16 weeks, if you've got a base behind you, is sort of the sweet spot where people tend to know that that's where you can build up from a lower base and get to that sweet spot and just crack on with the race and without fatiguing your body too much. But as you said, this is such an individual sport, and every person will have a different training plan. And
you're right, because you're right, Hayden, because you'll come on then, which we'll speak about in a few weeks' time. We'll get Coach Wilco to talk about it in depth about the taper. Yeah. Because I'm being serious, right? But because if you can get the taper right, then again, it goes back to what we were saying about overtraining, undertraining. If you can get your taper right, then again, you're going to maximize what you've done over this block, which you correctly pointed out, Wilco, in terms of breaking it down. You've got that part. So if you can then if you've done that well, and then you get your taper done right, you're in really good shape. Yeah. So this is the thing. What have we got, Wilco, left? Because we are running out of time. Yeah?
I like this. Winning Inters has just come in. How come none of you get injured? You're all able to complete all these races.
Your Hayden's like the bionic man. When he's not,
you're all able to complete all these races without injury. What's the secret sauce? Guinness.
I'll tell you what the secret sauce is. Today, I've been at the bloody hospital having an injection in my knee. So I definitely get injured. I'll tell you that it's just part of course of running. And I think anyone told you don't get injured is very lucky. Although if we go back to that episode a long time ago now, when we're talking about running every day, those are the ones that tend not to get injured. They're the ones I like to ask that question to.
The number one that it isn't a secret sauce, but I would say the secret method, right? And we're all guilty of not doing this, is consistency. Now, whether that's the fact that you're running every day or that you're running 4 times a week, but you're consistently running 4 times a week and you are having those rest days and you are doing your cross train or whatever, right? But you're consistent in what you're doing. That is the key to, touch wood, staying injury free. That honestly, that is the key. Obviously, building mileage up slowly and blah 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 blah. Not running in Nike Invincible shoes and stupid things like that, or Zigamas. But the key to it is consistency. Honestly, if you can do that, then you're 50% of the way there. I really would. Right, Wilco, what else we got? It's 5-minute warning, people. Get your questions.
What else we got? I'd add to that as well. Don't go mad. Go easy. 60%.
There's so many, Wilco. Thanks everybody
Right, okay. Should we have this one from Harry Hughes then? I'm hoping to run around 3 hours this year at London, not breaking 42 miles a week and supplementing with cycling and strength and conditioning. Seems to be going well so far. Thoughts on minimal required weekly mileage?
There is none.
No
rules.
It depends. It depends on you as if you're doing, like as you say, you're doing the strength and conditioning. You're fit. You're able, and you've got that underlining base. You can do minimal. I mean, right, Hayden. Hayden is a great example of this. Okay, and for once, I'm not going to take the mickey out of him.
I was going to say, where's this leading?
No. I'm not actually going to take the mickey out of you, because when you ran a 3:17 in Edinburgh, which is like the worst course in the world, through somebody's house and dirt track, and your alpha flies. And he comes out of there smiling like he ain't done nothing. But Hayden, realistically, right, your mileage, considering the speed you run and the ailments you've got, I said that nicely, you don't actually do high mileage. You probably average what? Average, I'm talking about 45 miles a week? Average.
There and thereabouts. It goes up and down with peak weeks.
I'm saying net probably is about 45. So I wouldn't class... And I'm about the same, probably a little bit there, but I'm about the same. But I wouldn't class as like big miles or anything like that. But you still pushed out a good for age.
It comes back to that same thing. We speak about it every single week, even in other walks of life. Honestly, people, it is about quality, not quantity. That's what it all comes down to. The quality of your training run and the quality of your plan, the quality of your mind, everything else about it. Just going out there and smashing out mile after mile after mile will not make you a faster runner.
Yeah. I mean, look, there is stuff that proves, right? There is whatever that, high mileage, if you can do it. But like Kipchoge says, he's paid to sleep, right? So if you're going to be pushing out mileage, shout out to Benny's running. He's a big mileage runner, okay? He's a quick runner, but he's semi-pro, right? He's paid to run. He's full-time YouTube. He's full-time runner. He then can sleep in the day. He can, eat what he wants to eat. He's not up at 5:30 on a train to London, doing a job, coming home, and then, whatever, right? Got your kids and stuff like that. That's the difference. So when you look at these guys who you run these times, and girls as well, who are running these times, the chances are, and they're doing these high miles, is because maybe their life balance is a little bit different. You know what I mean? So that's why, again, I wouldn't necessarily put a minimum mileage to say that's the winning number that you can get away with to run a 4-hour marathon. I don't think that exists.
You'll know, won't you? Right. Well, that's nearly an hour, gents. So I reckon we're about done.
Can I just say something before we go?
Yeah.
I do think it's really important for those who've missed it that they see the picture again, Tobe.
No.
Which one?
No, we've done an hour.
The good one.
That one.
Oh,
that one. Yeah.
I think
the guy in the background.
For anybody on the pod, we just put the picture up as Hayden as a stripper again. Yeah. When he was, it was 40 odd years ago when he was 25. And he actually had some abs, and he looked in not bad shape.
Robert
and
Hallam was
he had his own
we could all do the full Monty. Robert, there is not enough money in the world to make.
Just got a Facebook notification.
Who got a
Been
Facebook?
unfriended, apparently.
Oh, you've been unfriended.
I keep threatening.
We've all been unfriended. We've all.
Right,
Wilco, take us out.
Thanks so much for your company this evening, Toby. Technical guidance and wizardry is brilliant as usual. Big shout out to for Sketchers for their support for the pod, and to you, the listeners, for not only listening but for contributing as well. Some great questions tonight. Thanks ever so much for that. We are on Facebook and YouTube every Friday at 7:00. But if you can't catch us then, we do this as a podcast, so you can download it on your favorite podcast provider of choice, whether that is Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and take us on your long run. And please give us a review. We've had a few more reviews, always gratefully received, particularly the 5-star ones. So if you could rustle up one of them, that would be lovely too. Don't forget, if you've got a question for us, you can always drop us a line at fordyruns.com/longrun, and or get on the 40 Runs Facebook group and drop us a line on there. We have also Long Run. We've also got our own Facebook, our own Instagram. We are absolutely everywhere, taking over the world. So whatever sort of social media platform that you like to use, you'll probably find us there. So look us up. Thanks ever so much to everybody. Take care this week. Enjoy your running, and we'll see you next Friday.
Oh, fuck.